Now, Snippets is a real neat functionality built into Visual Studio. It's been there for the last few versions. And a snippet, you'll also hear it called a code snippet, is a block of reusable code that you can drop anywhere you need it in your code whenever you need it. Now, the snippets can be very simple, talking about things like try-finally blocks, if-else blocks. There's nothing more irritating than getting the syntax on these things wrong because you work in multiple languages and you kind of go brain dead and you're coding in some other language in the middle of your C# stuff. You know what I'm talking about there if you ever worked in multiple languages. Your snippets can also be more complex. For example, you can build a snippet to insert an entire class template or method templates, whatever you would like. And the real magic of these things will appear when I demo them in just a moment. But I want you to understand Visual Studio is providing two types of snippets for you right out of the box. There's the standard insertion snippet. It's what you use most of the time. And this is just a little snippet of code that's going to be added at a specified insertion point. And the way you specify it is it's going to be wherever your cursor is located. Then a surround snippet is where we can select a block of code and then add code around that. Now, you can also, in the Visual Studio interface, get information about the code snippets that are installed and kind of a little, I guess, homework assignment. You can go out there and dig around a Microsoft site just a little bit and see how to build your own snippets and put them in there. Now, if you go to the Tools menu in Visual Studio and choose Code Snippets Manager and then select the programming language that you're working with, you can see what's throughout there. Again, best way to understand this is to just get out there into the interface. And so we're going to jump into Visual Studio and take a look at a snippet. Now, if I wanted to put an if statement, an if-then statement right here, the cool way to do it is just right-click and notice Insert Snippet. And notice, I kind of went a little quick for you. I'll go back. And what I want to insert, I want to insert a Visual C# snippet. And so I'm going to come down here to if, double-click, and notice there is my snippet that it put in for me. So I've got the syntax laid out on an if statement. Now, let me take this thing out. I'm just going to delete it out and show you another really cool shortcut. If I know the name of the snippet I should say, I'll just type if and then tab twice. And notice it put it in. Okay? Let me take that out. What about a do loop? Type do, 2 tabs, there it is. So now all I have to do is go back and fill in the things that I want. Now, what snippets are out there? And what can I do with these? Well, if I go to Tools and go to Code Snippets Manager, you're going to notice that for the language Visual C#, here are some of them, okay? And I can see the ones that are out there. And for example, on my if, it's got a little information for it, and the shortcut is if. If I wanted to do something a little bit that you don't do very often, like namespace, the shortcut is namespace. So let me come back out here, and I'll come down here and type namespace, 2 tabs, and there I've created a namespace inside there. Now, created an issue for myself with some other things, right? And so I will just simply Control Z and back that out. All right. Now there's another thing I can do. If I type in here, let me come down one, return false. Okay. I can highlight this, right click that, and do a surround with. Okay. And do an if there. And notice my return false is inside here. Okay. So very, very easy way to work with this. Okay. And it's telling me that it's not a good place in the code for this, but I just wanted to demo the functionality of the snippet. Very, very cool stuff that you can do here. Just remember snippets. Watch for these things in real life. They can save you a lot of time, a lot of hassle, especially if you're working with syntax in multiple languages and it's kind of hard for you to remember some of those things. So anyway, quick look at snippets.